Sports Live is brought to you by All In CDO Training, the future of commercial driving. Earn your Class A and Class B license and endorsements with courses online and in person in the city of Long Beach. Call or visit the website 909-708-4861, www.allincdotraining.com. If you're unemployed, underemployed, or just want to change a career, scholarships are available, so don't worry about the cost. Give them a call. All In CDO Training, the future of commercial driving. AC Sports Live is also brought to you by Mood Swing Apparel, DEM Clothing. Dominate every matchup, period. Check them out, Mood Swing Apparel on Instagram. AC Sports Live is also brought to you by Cannon Nation Boxing. If you want to learn the sweet science of boxing, or if you just want to get a real good workout in, working out and training with pros, check out CannonNationBoxing.com and become the best version of yourself today.
You're quite hostile. I got a right to be hostile, man. My people been persecuted.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Looks like I got sound. I got speed. We're live. 13th day, January. Midpoint of the first month of the year 2026. We share the stream with my sites. And feel free to share on your end. NFL playoffs, my Eagles lost, but I'm actually relieved because now we can get a new offensive coordinator. And I wouldn't be mad if we got a new head coach too, but baby steps. Eagles on their way to Cancun, as I predicted a few weeks back. Cancun on 3, 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Mike Tomlin steps down as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach after 19 years. We'll talk about that. My alma mater, Long Beach Poly, has a new head football coach. We'll talk about that. UCLA does not look like UCLA as far as football is concerned. Brand new roster. And they just got a hefty donation to get more resources, more of what they need. We'll talk about that. My Tender Love report. Some OGs to the report have made the list this week, and an argument between two NBA broadcasters makes the report. And then the Supreme Court takes on the transgender sports cases, and we have a few points to take away from those hearings. So first things first, my Eagles, man. We lose to the 49ers in the first round. I think I said this last week, not even 2 weeks ago. Last week, I would not be surprised if we go home week 1. Because we've been terrible offensively. Jalen Hurts has been disinterested. A.J. Brown's been a problem all year long with the media, sending subliminal messages all the time. We can't score more than 7 points in the second half. Niners beat us at the link 23-19. Nick Sirianni's getting into a verbal altercation with A.J. Brown after he drops a pass and doesn't run off the field. How Bush League is that? Dr. Frazier in the house. My brother. Cancun for the Packers too? Yep. But the Packers were depleted. And without all their heavy hitters, especially Micah Parsons being absent, and then the Bears coming back, that was pretty bad. That was an epic collapse by the Packers of Green Bay. The Jaguars get put out by the Bills. We kind of expected that. Duval. The Patriots win ugly at home versus the Chargers, but a win is a win in the playoffs. So the search begins for the Eagles to find a new OC. Who's going to call plays? You still have a roster that is loaded. Can they mend the fences between A.J. Brown, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, and the offensive line? Because our offensive line did not play well this year. I saw Saquon Barkley get the ball and jump cut almost every rep. That means somebody's in his face as soon as he gets the ball. 7 times out of 10. And the atrocious play calling, even in the last drive of the season, 10 plays, and I saw at least 3 duplicates. We were in tight formation. We ran out routes. We went base 2x2, try to throw stop routes. We went tight formation, trips tight, try to run the football. It was just sitting here playing multiple choice, watching the Eagles play offense, which is sad because we have a really good defense. We just got out schemed, and a couple of plays that Kyle Shanahan drew up in the dirt worked. That reverse pass for a touchdown was a game deciding touchdown. You beat an overly aggressive defense by misdirection, a little sleight of hand, a little trickery. To keep them honest, the Eagles offense on 4th and 11 for the season run the same play you ran 3 plays ago. Nothing exotic, no crossers, no picks, meaning pick routes where you go trips and you run a corner route and a post route and a deep stop route, or you run 2 drags, a deep post, and the backside X runs a deep crosser to the place where he replaces those 3 vertical routes. That's what we ran under Kellen Moore. Replacement routes, where you clear out an area, quarterback buys a little bit of time, and you throw to the open space. You don't throw in triple coverage. Shout out to Kendricks from the Niners, Go Bruins, who read that play because he's been in the league long enough to know this is what they're going to do. They ran 4 verts. They were successful at it. They're going to come right back to it. We deserve to lose. My sweet brother Noomsy has come back. What's good, my brother? Charleston Blue in the building. Respect, much respect on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. I'm thinking we go back to Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh, a.k.a. Doug Peterson. Josh McDaniels is creative. I'm not sure about Brian Daboll. Everyone's saying Brian Daboll. He's the Giants coach who was all over Jackson Dart a few weeks ago, who talked so bad about Shedeur Sanders. You know, I don't rock with that. I can't rock with that. You talk bad about Shador, you lost a friend. And if I'm not mistaken, Brian Daboll was Jalen Hurts' coach at Alabama. And what happened to Jalen Hurts at Alabama? They handcuffed him so he couldn't throw the football. They replaced him with Tua Tagovailoa. And then Jalen Hurts had to come back and save the day. He still ended up transferring to Oklahoma. So I don't think the Dayball thing is a home run either. I don't know if I like John Gruden enough. Because, yeah, he knows how to call some plays in his little office. But the last time I checked, he has one Super Bowl back in the day. And he tried to coach a few years ago, and he seemed out of touch. I'm not against the OGs because Vic Fangio has redefined himself on defense. He just needed some talent. We have an offense full of all-stars. So we just need somebody with some creativity. I don't think we can get rid of A.J. Brown, even though it looks like we should. But I believe with a creative OC and a new identity on offense of which way they're going to go, things can be mended. But his numbers are too high. I don't think we can take that kind of cap hit. Because I was looking at I don't want to count another man's money. But for this situation, I think it's appropriate. They paid him 2024. If he doesn't play next year, that's a $72.5 million cap hit. So we don't want to do that. If we wait till June 1st and the numbers come down a little bit, that's $45 million in 2026 and $27.2 million in 2027 that they would owe A.J. Brown. So I think we're stuck unless we find a trade partner, which would not be easy. I already made the request for Marvin Harrison Jr. and some picks, but you can't always have what you want. Lakers up 32 versus the Hawks at home. Did LeBron wear that patch? The patch that says 23 years in the league? Like, that is the most tender love thing I've seen in a long time. OG Neil said, I could be wrong, but video looks crisp, new lighting or camera. I turned off my overhead light. I got the same lighting. Camera's a little bit further away, so it will give you a different depth. But as a cameraman, Neil, I know you have an eye for it. I appreciate it. It does look a little bit more crisp, but same equipment, just a little bit more further away. And I did take off. There's a filter I had to allow me to zoom in on this app, so I appreciate it. Kept it in-house at 16 Atlantic. Yes, sir. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Congratulations to Trayvon Patterson, the new head coach at Long Beach Poly. That was my request last time when we hired somebody. When I applied and I was in the interview, and I said, even if you don't choose me, we need a Long Beach Poly alumni head coach. For the community, for the culture, for the kids who would look at us and wonder why we're not in that position. Because long term, you have to wonder why we've never, and you think about it, why hasn't Long Beach Poly ever had a black alumni as the head coach? Thomas Whiting was a co-head coach with Jerry Jaso. Trayvon Patterson is the first alumni head coach of color. This color. Raul Laura was the first Latino. Antonio Pierce was the first black head coach, but he wasn't a jackrabbit. He's a Paramount Pirate. Big difference. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Rubio's in here. Showtime. He allegedly wore it yesterday. Yeah, I think that's just adding to the reason why he's not going to be as celebrated in retirement as some of the other GOATs, man. Some of the things that LeBron has pulled off in his career that you just be kind of like, yeah, like him not playing defense right now is hard to watch, man. Like the Olay defense is worse than it's right on the same path as old girl from Iowa State. The big girl who plays really good offense, but she plays no defense. She just watches people lay a ball up next to her. Beyond turning love for LeBron, you might have to create a whole separate section. Self-loathing or a self-appreciation. We got to think of something. It's more than tender love. It's self-love. Yeah, man. 1000%. It's time. It was beyond time. Mike Tomlin. Not to brush off my Eagles. We need a new OC. We're in the process. I wouldn't be mad if they fired Sirianni, but I don't think. Just put it like this. You have a head coach nobody wants. That might let you know that you might be in the market for somebody else. I'd take John Harbaugh in a second because he's an adult. Sirianni, he's too emotional for me, man. He has a great record because he's had great teams. You could thank Howie Roseman for that. Mike Tomlin. And being from Long Beach, all my friends are Steelers fans, so I got to give Mike some love. 19 seasons. Not one losing season. Got a ring and a bunch of 8 or more winning seasons. Overall record, 193, 114. Salute Mike Tomlin. Salute the Pittsburgh Steelers organization for allowing him to step down and not firing him. The optics and how it looks and sounds as we are down to our only 2 black head coaches left in the league. Mike Tomlin has done a tremendous job in his 19 years. Maybe he should get a patch too, like LeBron. Put a patch on his jacket. 19 seasons with the same team. That's more remarkable to me. With the same team. Sweet Brother Doomsy says Raiders need to get Tomlin. What they have had the Raiders would kill for to be relevant and win every year. I think you posted it. Get you a brand new quarterback, whether it be Mendoza or Moore. Even though I don't think Moore is ready. He's only 20 years old. I think Mendoza is 24. Mendoza been around the block for a minute. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. And he's super smart. I think he'll be a good pro, even though everyone thinks he's a goofball. But sometimes goofballs are savants. Rube said, I saw a wild stat. Tomlin doesn't have a coaching tree. No coaches have come through him. That can't be right. Can it? Can it possibly be true that nobody from Mike Tomlin's tenure as a coach who has been successful for 19 years, never having lost more than 8 games, nobody from his coaching staff has ventured off and got a promotion? I can't believe that. All his OCs, all his DCs, they didn't stay the whole time. I'm sure they went somewhere else and got a job. It just isn't as reported upon. I know certain coaches have trees like, Nick Saban and Belichick and Parcells. And, of course, but I think it's something that could be researched. I can't believe that nobody from that staff over 19 years ever got promoted. Different hearing a black coach step down versus hearing he's fired. It's a big difference because Mike Tomlin can now sit out a year if he wants to and be hired as soon as next season. Frazier said Tomlin never could win in the playoffs. He got one championship. You'd be surprised how much one championship can afford somebody. Look at Doc Rivers in basketball. Look at John Gruden in football. All you got to do is win one, and you can always say you have a championship. Dan Marino will be the GOAT if he got one. He would be better than Joe Montana and Tom Brady if he got one championship. Barry Sanders doesn't have a championship, so everybody wants to say he can't be GOAT without a championship. But we saw what we saw. You put Barry Sanders on the Dallas Cowboys, he might rush for 3,000 yards. He might rush for 3,000 yards. No one can win with the Raiders without a quarterback. Raiders almost won with Rich Gannon, and he was kind of out of his prime. It does take, well, how good was Jim Plunkett? Was Jim Plunkett that great? Or was Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson and them guys? Well, Bo Jackson never won a Super Bowl. I just kind of in my mind imagine how good Bo Jackson would have been had he never got injured. Leon Frazier, he's won a Super Bowl. He just lost the last 7 seasons. Yeah, he's done really well considering. Yeah, Big Ben forever. He was able to maintain Antonio Brown's antics to be under the radar for as long as he had him, 9 seasons of Antonio Brown. That means this man can handle a locker room. Playoff picture for this rest of this season. I think I have a graphic. What it looks like. Of course, things have changed because my team lost. But I did say sink or swim. Eagles get beat first round and we win the whole thing. First round it is. Broncos, Bills. In Denver. At 1:30, so the weather shouldn't be that bad. Broncos, Bills. I'm going to go Broncos. Patriots, Texans. This is a sticky one, man. That Texans defense, that defense is crazy. And the Patriots have no real experience except for a couple of players. But Drake May is brand new to the dance. And the Texans defense are not polite. They made Aaron Rodgers look like he's never played before. I'm going to go with it. Oh, no, I had the Patriots winning the whole thing, but at this point, I'm going to have to come back to that side. Seahawks, Niners. Niners invade Seattle. 5 p.m. night game. The 12th man's going to be in full effect. I'm going to say the Seahawks here. The Niners barely survived Lincoln Financial last week in Philadelphia, and we didn't even play well. The Seahawks, Sam Darnold, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Yeah, I'm going Seahawks there. Bears, Rams. All right, so Rams got to go to Chicago at 3:30. Shouldn't be that cold. It'll be cold, but it won't be that cold. Matthew Stafford and the gang are pretty seasoned. And the Bears seem like a team of destiny with the way they came back against the Packers. Sorry, Dr. Frazier. But I'm going Rams. I'm going with the home team. Rams over Bears. Going back, Patriots, Texans. I'm going to go upset. Texans over Patriots. Let's go for it. So then it means Broncos, Texans, Seahawks, Rams. My final 4. Oh, man. Broncos, Texans in Mile High. Seahawks, Rams in Seattle, 12th man. I'm going to go Rams over Seahawks. Let's go with a homer. And I'm going to go Broncos over the Texans. And then we got Broncos, Rams in the Super Bowl. Can I say the Broncos are going to win it all? I hope so, because I don't want the Patriots to win it, because I don't want to see y'all's president at the game trying to act like he's well liked by the world. Rams, Broncos. Broncos win the chip. My picks are going to change every week now because the Eagles are out, so I'm going to go Broncos. Tell Tony that I got the Broncos, sweet brother Doomsy. Tell Tony. He'll be happy. Charleston Blue, why or how many NFL teams are really playing to win? Is there a script? It feels like it, doesn't it? The script I heard from my good brother Courtney Simpson. The script is so the Patriots win the whole thing, so Trump can be at the game and pretend like he's well loved by everybody. We'll see. Rube wants the Seahawks to win the whole thing. Sam Darnold? Does Sam Darnold do what every other USC quarterback has failed to do? That would be crazy. It was different league back when the Raiders were intimidating. Back before the referees took the power away from them by calling all the most penalized team in the league with the Raiders. Broncos Texans will be a defensive snooze fest. Most of them should be. Heavy boy, I know he wants the Patriots to win. Patriots, Seahawks, Super Bowl. And then his boy Trump could be at the game and he could be like, yo, where's my boy? He gonna get booed at the stadium, man. You got Trump at the game, Bad Bunny at halftime, and it's in San Francisco. It's gonna be chaotic. Frazier said Rams, Broncos. That's what I got. Rams, Broncos. The Texans beating the Broncos. I think they can. Will they? That defense might just do it. I don't have a dog in this game. Who cares? Rams winning it this season. Devontae Adams should be healthy. Rams winning it all as a 5th seed. Sweet brother Noomsy says it. Discount audio and wheels. Hey Tony, AC said he has the Broncos winning it all. I gotta go see Tony. My car has no sound in the back. I'm all in the front. I think it's just a loose cable because it was just overnight how it happened. But I gotta get a car fixed first and foremost. You know, the BMW, stay in the shop. Joshua Man's here, and here he goes. Bang, bang, Nana Gang. We just signed the replacements. Faison Love, Orlando Jones, and Keanu Reeves, just in case. I'm not sure how y'all beat us without a tight end. Without, Kittle, you guys ran that reverse pass. And how does Jawan Jennings keep getting, big play after big play? He seems so unstable, like a crash out, man. Every time I see him, he looks like he's about to get in trouble. 40-year-old quarterback who can't move. That's not good. I agree with you, Big Mike. The Rams should be tough. Should be. Rube said, assuming no one can hear me saying go Hawks. We know, Rubio. We know. Will be interesting. Always is, because you never know who's going to melt under the bright lights. Some people can take, I think Caleb Williams really thinks that he can take it like as a regular game. It's no big deal. Why are you guys all bent out of shape? A game is just a game. It's no big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. All right, man. Long Beach Poly has a brand new head coach, Trayvon Patterson. And it's about time, man. It's long overdue. Now that he has the position, I want to have him on the show. I'm gonna reach out to him and have him on the show at some point. We can talk about his vision and what he thinks he can do. There's still a lot of red tape and how to get the kids back home. I gave my vision to the hiring committee when I applied and how it would take, some enrollment help. You don't have to cheat, but you do need your school and the district to give you some cushion, some room to wiggle to get the kids in that live in the area. The surrounding cities, kids get permits to attend whatever school they want to. And Poly has several academic academies that are well known. PACE, CIC, I think we have the Pacific Rim. All these academies can take students. In addition to the students who live in the area, can we get the kids in so Trayvon can be successful? And the kids who may be at a school that is a little bit more, I want to say stable, accomplished the last 10 years, whether it be private or public, but they would rather be at the Funk. And for those who don't know, Poly is also known as the Funk House. If you want to come to the Funk, you have to be in the area or in one of these academic programs. But if you go to a private school, they can just make room for you and there's no hassle. My whole argument with the whole committee, as we were like, let's go. Trayvon Patterson, Tyee Buford, a couple of other alumni applied. Pick a jackrabbit. That was my whole thing. Pick a jackrabbit so the community can be more likely to bring their kids back home. And that's just the start of it. You got to get, the Pee Wee program back on board, the feeding ground, the farm system. We got to start having clinics, free like meet and greets, bringing an entire Pee Wee team to the locker room to meet the kids, meet the players, and make these kids dream about being jackrabbits again. That's what's missing. These kids today are dreaming of going to modern day in Bosco, which was unheard of in our day. We're really, really in a deep hole when it comes to getting back to Division I open division. Right now, the only public school that can compete is Centennial Corona. And I don't think they go by the same guidelines and restrictions as Long Beach Unified. So I think if they let Trayvon have 25 spots of enrollment without a bunch of foolishness, we can take a couple of kids being on a 5-game sit out, but we cannot punish a family who only wants their legacy kid to go to the high school the entire family went to. People move, people make adjustments in their family and go, you live in a home that you can afford, and sometimes it's not Long Beach, but you can drive your child to the school that they want to attend. That's one thing I would always fight, man, with CIF and school districts is, why is it a crime? If it is open enrollment, why can't a student athlete go to a school that specializes in that sport? What's wrong with that? Yes, you will get a powerhouse and they will have sorry teams in the league, but isn't Long Beach football better when Long Beach Poly is ranked in the top 5 in the country and you have something to be proud of? What happened this year? The first round, every Long Beach team got beat in the first round, St. Anthony's included. They've dispersed all the talent to all the schools, so now we have parity. I think Wilson won the Moore League. They got beat in the first round too. But the hope is that they will give him an opportunity to build that thing up. When you want him, I can set it up. All right. I'm assuming Charleston Blue is Coach Ack. If I'm not right. If I'm not right, correct me. Coach Ack is the basketball assistant for Long Beach Poly High School basketball. Coach Sheldon Diggs program, stellar program, year after year. Funk House is the place to be, and we free. I'm correct. I knew it. I'm trying to see if that's Haile Selassie in the bow tie. Is that who that is? I can't see. It's too small, and I'm losing my eyesight. But Trayvon should have the support. I saw his Instagram, and he had over 100 mentions on the announcement. So we behind him. Now, who has the time to go coach with him? I'm gonna leave that to y'all. I'm gonna be a little bit more busy with some things at the church, so I don't think I could really put my name in the hat to help coach, but I could help if the kids need video work done and things like that. Always gonna be available to the families of the Long Beach Poly Nation, but there are some younger guys who played in the league who are working locally, could jump on that staff and help out. The more of us that can help out, the more of us that can support, the more successful the program will be. We want to come to the games where we can, get back in the win column, the respect column, where you're gonna come and it's gonna be smash mouth, fast athletes, big linemen, well coached, and this time around, disciplined. We always had a problem with discipline. When we had the best roster in the country, still had offsides penalties, false start penalties, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, the things that we can control. We need those things addressed. And I think Trayvon, I spoke to him at our coaches, I want to say panel with Coach Don Norford and Errol Parker and a couple of other guys, Coach Maura Cole, and all of us sat around with some of the other alumni, Reggie, who else was there? Scully Peters. We all talked about who we thought should be the head coach, and we all agreed that it should be somebody that the community can recognize and be confident in and support. So we got that part. Now we got to do the other part, and that's deal with the CIF and deal with the district trying to block us from being successful. We do that by supporting this young man. So Trayvon, you got us, bro. Reach out, have him on the show. We'll talk to him and see what his vision is. It is a Haile Selassie Rastafari. Yeah, man. All the alumni, we want to help in any way we can. Even just coming to speak to the kids on a normal basis. I wouldn't mind coming through and having real life Wednesdays or real life Tuesdays or something where you come in and give them, college and career kind of like options. But recruiting and things changing the way it has, college coaches will only come to Poly, Mater Dei, and Bosco moving forward. They want kids that they know can compete. As a freshman, the days of developing kids is gone, man. Gone. As you look at UCLA has a brand new team right now. And we just received a hefty donation from an alumni. So right now, as it stands, UCLA has 39 transfers out of the portal, including Zaire West, who was one of the top defensive ends in the country at 6'4", 270. From James Madison, he was a freshman of the year. He had 7 sacks, 45 tackles as a true freshman. So he has 3 years of eligibility left. So Coach Chesney got his star player, including 10 other James Madison stars. And yeah, they were stars in a smaller conference. But these guys can play. The coach trusts them because he's seen them play, take them to a 10-1 record and played Oregon pretty tough in the college football playoffs. UCLA's recruiting class of transfers looks like 5 O linemen, 5 D linemen, 5 DBs, and they just added one today from Ohio State. They got an Ohio State transfer. 5 wide receivers, 3 tight ends, 3 linebackers. They're just filling their roster with kids who played a lot. And that's not going to count the 16 freshmen that are coming in, who are not going to most likely be the heaviest, load carriers. It's going to be these old school kids. These kids are going to be old. This is the James Madison pattern. The Indiana Hoosiers are in the national championship game. They have the oldest roster to date. Their roster is just as old as a BYU roster. And BYU has kids who go on 2-year missions and they come back with a wife and kids, and they average 25 years old. Well, that's what Indiana did this year. I think their team is older than most NFL teams. And James Madison produced Signetti, who did the old man technique. You have Bob Chesney at UCLA, who's also James Madison, and he's bringing in 10 of his guys who are up in age. You might have Jair West, who's a freshman, but the rest of those guys are 22 years old. So where does that leave an 18-year-old freshman? He's going to have to compete versus some grown men, because now, as we're seeing the portal change the landscape, I think they're having the coaches convention right now, the American Football Coaches Alliance, or whatever is going on. And I'm going to read Tony Siragusa's article. He's saying the coaches are not talking about what's happening because this is what they wanted. If you want to win now, you get kids who have played a lot. You don't have time to develop kids. So the recruiting landscape has changed. And it's up to us parents, because I have my sons in the portal, as you all know. And film is key. You have to have film. You have to play. So for high school kids, it's not about going where you dreamed about going no more. You got to go where you can play. And then once you get your film up, you can go to where you want to go. You can go to the school that you dreamed about, because it's different, man. It really is different. Even like Twitter is different, and coaches' relationship with kids is different. Now coaches are spending most of their time in the portal, talking to agents and agencies to see who they represent and who is available. It's just like the NFL at this point. If you have a high-powered attorney, agent, representation, you have a better chance of getting a contract. I tried to do my NFL journey without an agent, and of course, back in those days, it was a pager. Your pager goes quiet. You get an agent, and then teams are more likely to deal with an agent than they are with an individual player. So then I get an agent, my pager goes off. The Packers, the Chiefs, the Cardinals, and the Saints want to sign you as a free agent. And I was like, Cardinals, I know the defensive back coach. And then when things didn't go well there, I got injured, got cut. The Saints, the Chiefs, the Packers are interested. I'll go to New Orleans and they want you to work out. Pager, agent. Now, college kids have agents. Remember when we were in college, you couldn't even talk to an agent or you'd be in trouble. If you talked to an agent or even rumored to talk to an agent, you would be suspended. Look at Donnie Edwards. An agent bought him groceries and he was in big trouble. I think he missed a couple games. I could be wrong, but he was in trouble for getting some food that he needed to survive. He couldn't get anything from an agent in those days. Now, you almost need one, man. You almost need one. Like I said, I think Indiana will win it all. I think it's going to be very, very hard for Miami to beat Indiana. But we'll see on the 19th. Anything's possible. They got two defensive ends that can get after the quarterback. Anything's possible. UCLA just received $17.3 million today from one donor for football and basketball. We've already got our roster pretty full of big money players. But with that little money right there, and it's not little at all, he can grab a couple more high profile guys. And I know UCLA is opening the pocketbook because I have a couple friends who have their sons in the portal, and some phones were ringing with 7-figure offers. So I know UCLA is going out here getting some players with the pocketbook, not just saying we have sunny weather and good academics. So it's a new day, UCLA. There should be no excuse. We should win this year. We should win this year. Crazy how far things have changed. Overnight, Josh. Overnight. We paying a coach $7 million. And we're paying $1 million for our star players at UCLA. I know basketball was doing it because our point guard Dent got $2 million. This public knowledge. We're not dropping down any information that's not public. But now they've opened up the wallet, the checkbook for football. Save it for a quarterback and a lineman next year. You would hope, because Nico's going to be gone and a couple of our linemen are going to graduate, including those from James Madison. The big money lineman from James Madison will be gone. We had to pay Syer West again. Like, they're going to have to do what USC just did. You have to re-sign your players every year. And the guys you don't re-sign are expendable. They're going to hop in the portal. That's just going to be the new pattern. Coaches should stop getting mad because this is what it is. You guys asked for it. You got it. Now you guys can cut players and players can leave. So be careful how you treat your players. Even the players you think you don't need, because next year you will need them. You need to re-recruit everybody on your roster if you hope to have a roster next year. Like right now, UCLA is loaded. Everyone's not going to play as much as they want. Everyone has dreams of the NFL. You can't make the NFL if you don't have big plays on your resume. If I'm on the bench, I can't make big plays. If as long as you start your senior year, you make big plays, you can still make the NFL. But if you see the writing on the wall, you're not in the mix. No matter how good you run at your pro day or how high you jump at your pro day, you need to have some evidence that you played a lot and you got some stats. It's just what it is. But I think we will have a new look team that's exciting to watch. I hope we stay at the Rose Bowl. I don't know, Joshua, you might know more than me. You're on the inside. Check that out. My Tender Love report. Let's cue it up. I talked about it earlier. LeBron's patch. Unnecessary and tender. Kareem would never wear a patch. Kobe would never. Jordan would never. Bill Russell would never. Larry Bird would never. Magic Johnson would never wear a patch. Let me see if I got this patch. LeBron's patch. There it is. NBA seasons 23 and his Illuminati ritual with the powder in the air. It looks like a man at church praising God. He has his hands in the air. I think he's praising himself. And I'm not a LeBron hater, but some of the things he does, I'm like, come on, man. My other OG, AD, doesn't need surgery, but he's out 6 weeks. And this is a tribute to AD, who is the inspiration for this segment. We're going to pray for Anthony Davis, man. My boy P. Ward says something must be up. This man, I think my man Derek Ayers said he must really have a bone deficiency or something is wrong with his body, because adductor strain, detached retina, calf contusion, growing, sore Achilles, ligament damage, eyebrows itch, fingernails torn off. Like, he's had every injury known to man. The poor guy needs some milk and prayer. The other guys that made it to the Love Report, I'm going to put Kendrick Perkins on there. All right, so the argument was, you're an AAU coach for 14-year-olds. You're up 30 at halftime. Why are you still full court pressing a team that's clearly not as good as yours? Because Kendrick Perkins said, I'm trying to develop that dog mentality, a killer instinct. And Richard Jefferson's argument will be, once you get the lead like that, are you really teaching your kids to be killers or bullies? You're taking advantage of kids who can't play. What you going to do when you play against a good team? My take is, do your full court pressure, get your lead. Now it's time to work on something else, because you're going to play against a team that has good guards that can handle the press, beat your press in this dunk city. So you have to get back into your sets. So my thing would be, why you're trying to embarrass these kids you know you can better than for the entire game, 94 feet, picking them up, they can't get the ball in bounds. Are you really teaching kids for the long term? They were talking about why AAU is bad for basketball, because the American players don't know how to play. All we know how to do is dog players that can't play. And you face players that can play, you now don't have the reps that you needed to play at a high level versus good talent. So, Perk, I side with Richard Jefferson on this one. Get your lead, do what you got to do. But once you have a good, sizable lead, no need to press anymore. In football, we call it calling off the dogs. If we got a 50-point lead, the fourth string should be in the game. And we're no longer throwing the football. We're running the ball, basic plays. If they can't stop it, I can't stop my fourth string running back from scoring. You got to play some defense. So those times you see Polly beat Compton 99-0, that was being nice. Because if you leave the starters in there, it'd be 150-0. There's no need to embarrass kids. And he said, 14 is grown. Those are grown men. I'm like, nah, 14 is still a kid. You got some 17U kids, then, that's a little bit different. But 14U, you're still developing as a young person, and your mental capacity is not one that can survive that. That can make some kids forget their entire dream of playing basketball beyond middle school. I don't think it's necessary to do that. So you make the 10 and 11 report, Perk, because chances are you were all high school All-American. But if you weren't 7 feet tall, gee, your top players could get hurt. That too. If you don't call off the dogs, bad things happen. Bad things happen. So shame on you. All right. So the Supreme Court has taken on what we talked a little bit about last week, the transgender girls playing sports versus girls. And the points that came away from these hearings is, first and foremost, they can't say that it's illegal to have boys and girls sports. That's understood across the board. Second point that came up, Will transgender girls ever be treated like other girls? No, they won't, because they're not the same. Again, I won't move off of this. You need to make a new division, open division for every sport, especially sports that have contact. But other sports, it's only right. I don't care how many blockers you take. You're not going to be treated the same. Those of us who have girls, girl dads, girl moms, we don't want to put our life of training, coaching, building them up to get to their moment of truth to get beat by a boy. Can't do it. The third point was that the states say that they are not required to make case-by-case exceptions. The fourth point, the bans operate only in one direction, and the state admitted it. So transgender boys are not trying to play with the boys, and transgender girls are trying to play with the girls. So that means a girl who is transitioning into being a boy is not trying to play with the boys because she can't. Does not have the strength or speed. But if you let it go the other way, it's not fair. Even Bruce Jenner himself, Caitlyn Jenner, said it's not fair. So what are we talking about? Why is it so hard to understand? Nobody's saying you can't play. We're just trying to say play in a division that's fair, a category that's fair. The fifth point was Justice Sonia Sotomayor said the bans look like sex discrimination. Don't call it something it's not. This is different. It's like saying the civil rights movement included things that you have a choice over. Skin color and gender identification are two different things. I can't stop being black, or you can stop designating yourself as something and be behind closed doors, be who you want to be. I know all this open fairness. I'm all for rights. I'm all for respect. I'm all for dignity. But when it comes to competition, that's where the line should be drawn, because it's not fair to the girls. I'm pro girls in this conversation. The last point was the court may rule narrowly and that it's going to be very close whether or not certain states will allow it to happen. It's going to be an ongoing conversation, an ongoing divide at this point. So states that allow it, like California, I think a couple other states that allow it, you're going to always get problems. I think there was a transgender girl on the San Jose State volleyball team, and a few teams on the roster on the schedule said we're not playing because that's their best player. It's one thing if the player is not very good, but if the player is really good, I think that's not fair. Like, what if 3 transgender girls played on the basketball team, like Joanna Man, and they are destroying everybody? What then? We saw what happened in the Olympics. We saw what happened in the high jump a few weeks ago. It's not going to be fair to the girls. So we'll see what the Supreme Court does. They decided to listen. Let's see if they use, I can't even call it common sense now, man. It's such a tough, touchy topic. D McFly, you know. Happy Boy says the good Lord is shaking his head on this topic. It's just craziness, man. And you know, the Democratic Party is pro because that's their alliance. But then you got the Republican Party saying, yeah, that's demonic. But so is racism and elitism and all this other stuff. And that's why I don't really talk too much about politics. I think all of it's evil. The good Lord is going to judge, but where do you stand as far as right and wrong? In this case, talking about simple competition, it's not even like your salvation. We're talking about competition, a sport. It's not the end all be all, but for some, it's who they are, it's how they define themselves. So give them an open division, let them compete, give them an entire lane so they can compete and we can still celebrate them. And then let those who are designated as one or the other, they can compete in that lane as well. Let it be open so everybody knows and you don't rob the little girls of their chance to be great. Because that's what breaks my heart is when I see a little girl not make a team or not make the podium because somebody up there was born a boy. And they're like, well, we don't want to be not seen in existence of we want to be seen. Okay, we're going to make a new category for you. The open division. There you go. We can still see you. You can still get your gold medal. You can still get your little scholarship if that school has that. But do not rob our girls of what they've earned. I think that's fair enough. All right, man. Let me see. Am I good to go? I think I'm good to go. Yeah. So appreciate all you guys for hanging out with me. Appreciate all those peopleization in the building this evening. Happy Boy, D Mac, Coach Ack, Dr. Frazier, Sweet Brother Noomsy Rubio, all you guys, appreciate you. Joshua Man, bang bang Niner game for Joshua Man. Hope you guys win the whole thing. But I know it's going to be very tough. Broncos Rams Super Bowl. Is that what it's going to be? We'll have to wait and see. I also have Indiana winning the whole thing in college. I don't think Miami has enough. They're relying on a 17-year-old receiver versus those grown men from Indiana. That's going to be a uphill battle, but anything is possible. That's why they're going to play the game. And that's why they played the game. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Peace and blessings. I'm out.